Welcome to our session today where we are going to explain our course options. I am so excited to be doing this. I feel like, are my eyes open? Are we here? Are we here? Are we alive? There has been so much anticipation towards this exam, so I'm very, very excited. So let's go through this. I'm going to be going through all of our course options. It's actually pretty easy. The course options are honestly super simple to explain. You can see here along the course classroom, there are six courses within, or six classrooms, I'll say, within the course. But before I go into that, I just want to go over some key facts for the exam. So first of all, we know that this is going to be a completely virtual exam. It's going to be remote proctored in one day. The oral section is going to be 2.5 hours, scored at 60% of the exam, and the written exam is going to be 2.5 hours, scored at 40% of the exam. So that is going to take you to a total of 5 hours for this exam. Oh, I have a mosquito here. Alrighty. The fees are $2,500 for the CPTE. Woo. There's going to be a discounted fee, $1,800 for candidates who pass their old written, the old written we'll call it, and now are planning to take that new CPTE between February and December. And then for the January 2026 seating, they're doing a very special rate of $1,500. So that's kind of the cheapest option. Let's keep flying here. So deadlines, I'm just going to put these up here. I think the important thing to see, the first date here is the first option. And then the second date is the overflow dates. That's why it's kind of like December 23rd and 22nd. It's just these are the overflow dates. The application deadlines for those dates are all here as well. And then these fees are just if you are taking it after you've done the written exam, then it's a little cheaper. So that's really it. You can see that most of these cutoff dates are pretty close to the exam. So that's nice. You can kind of make your decision quite last minute. Okay. So let's go into the oral breakdown. The oral exam is going to be first. You're going to have 10 cases, and each case of those 10 is going to have 3 questions. And these same kind of 3 categories of questions are asked every time. It is going to be question 1, which we're going to have on assessment and diagnosis or care planning. Question 2, client safety and client-centered care, which is, these are huge topics. Like there's so many things that could be asked about assessment and diagnosis or care planning. Like literally the entire curriculum as a physio could be asked in that question 1. And then question 3 is going to be more around these professional practice questions, we'll call them. And you'll know why we're calling professional practice soon here. Okay, yeah, clinical practice. Here we go. So we also are going to have a time allotted for each case. So you have 15 minutes for each case. 4 minutes of those are going to be reading time, and 11 minutes is going to be your time to answer these questions. Okay, there's a lot more detail we can go into the breakdown of this oral, but I think that's a very nice kind of bird's eye view. Is that what they call it? Oh, I got some light shining on me. Okay. The next part is the written exam. So you have 100 questions. 80 of those are going to be vignettes. 20 of those are going to be standalone. The new media enhanced questions are going to take up about 20% of the exam. So there are definitely some changes. Also, the blueprint is different, very different, as far as what things they're asking, and what things they're going to ask less of and what things they're going to ask more of. So I think we're going to see a pretty different exam from the we'll call it the old written. So yes, it is going to be oral first and then the written exam. And honestly, this makes sense. Even when we were planning our course months and months ago, we were like, oh, it's going to be really tough to time it when people are doing the written and then to flip into an oral. That's really tough because you have a lot of people that need to be involved for that oral, right? You need the examiner. You'll probably have a remote proctoring. So when we found out that they're actually going to do that first, we were really happy because that also is going to fit with how we were planning to do our mocks. So I'm seeing some questions around media enhanced questions. So media enhanced questions, all that means, I think I got them. Oh yeah. He flew away. So media enhanced questions are videos, they could be images, it could be sound clips, something to kind of bring in a more clinical perspective. I will just say, actually, for those of you who are asking questions, could you do me a favor and could you use the Q&A feature of the webinar? Erin is going to be answering anyone's questions that they're typing in there, so please go and answer. And then there also is a little feature called an upvote. It's just a little thumbs up that you give. Um, so if you can press that little thumbs up, it'll just make your that person's question go higher if maybe you have the same question. And Erin is going to interrupt me, cut me off here if there's anything that she thinks that I should definitely address in front of everyone as far as questions go. So please do me a favor, everyone who just wrote your questions in the chat box, please move those questions over to the Q&A box. Okay, so back to these media enhanced questions. They're supposed to kind of give a more mimicked real life clinical type of question by adding that media to help. Okay, so stop there for just a second. Is there any questions around the exam and what it's going to look like at this point? Again, remember, we haven't seen it, so this is going to be we'll do our best to answer your questions, but. Okay. So I'm seeing some questions around study timelines. So I'm going to wait on those. Nothing else. We're okay to move on. Can I get a yes if we're okay to move on and get right into what our courses are? Boom. Okay, we are going. So, as I mentioned, our CPTE courses are going to include these 6 different classrooms. So, I'm going to make this really, really simple for you. We have 3 options for courses. We have what is called Essentials. That's going to kind of be like the first entry course. Then our next course is going to be Mastery, and the next course on top of that is Mastery Plus. Those 3 courses are your options. One of the biggest questions I'm sure we'll get today is, are we separating out written or oral content? We are not, and I hope I can explain to you why after you see how our classroom is set up. But in each of those 3 courses, you get exactly the same material. The only thing that is different amongst those 3 courses are the mock exams. So I'm going to walk you through the mock exams and what is included there. So this is our course comparison page. It is on our website. It is going to be really helpful, I hope, to you to have a visual of all the differences. But again, this is really the only difference in the course, and that is mock exams. So in our Essentials course, you are going to have access for 6 months. In our CPT Mastery and CPT Mastery Plus, you will have access until you pass or 1 year. So say that you took your exam like in January, you would still have access to it for a year after or from when you signed up. Okay. Or if you buy it now and you don't end up passing for 2 years, knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But you'll have access until you pass. Does that make sense to everyone? We get lots of questions around that too. Give me a yes if that makes sense, or a no if it doesn't. Cool. Some of you, it makes sense. Any questions around that? There wasn't a lot of you saying it makes sense. Cool. Okay, we'll keep going. The next kind of difference here is going to be in the written mock exams. Okay, so right here. So in our written mock exams, 2 full exams are included in the essential, and this is going to take you to a place where you actually can go and do mock exams in a way that will very much mimic the exam. It is a new platform for us from what we previously did, and it will allow you to go through the feedback as well. So in CPTE Mastery and Plus, you receive 6. So 4 more mocks written in that course. The biggest difference between the 3 of them is going to be our full CPTE. So you're going to have an oral exam. It'll be one-on-one with one of our teachers, and you'll have 30 minutes of feedback included with that. So it is going to be a 3-hour chunk. Okay. Then you will be able to do your written exam. You can do it right afterwards if you want, or if you're wanting to kind of split it up and maybe do your written the next day, you totally can. So that written exam will be available to you for whenever you want to do it. But again, we do encourage you to put it together. So it is like this full mock day for you. Okay. There is no full CPTE in the Essentials course. There is 1 in CPTE Mastery, and there is 2 in CPTE Mastery Plus. Okay. Now, the dates of these full day mocks are going to be up to you. So you will have a link in your classroom that'll show you all the available options that you can pick from. We will usually give you a bit of advance as to when we're going to be posting those, and then you'll just select from the available options for what works best for your exam, right? If you are purchasing the Mastery, you can see it's $300 more than Essentials, and Mastery Plus is $300 more than Mastery. So each of these mocks are kind of like the main thing we'll say is different. If you purchase Essentials and you then later decide, hey, I want to do a mock, it will be $475. It is a big difference. We are highly incentivizing you to determine early on if you want to do the mock, okay? And that is purposeful because we need to do a bunch of things. We need to have the right amount of licenses to make sure that we can hold these exams. They're long, they're 3 hours. So we need a ton of licenses for Zoom. We need to make sure that we have teacher availability for that. All of our scheduling will be done based off of what course people are picking. So if people later choose to add mocks, number one, it might not be available. We might be full, or we might have to kind of move a lot of things around in order to get you in. So that's why we are highly incentivizing people early on. If you're thinking about doing a mock, it's a very much a discounted price for you to do it early. Okay. And then the last thing is a structured 10 case mock oral exam. So all this means is that you are going to have a full oral 10 case exam that will be in your classroom, no matter which course you're picking. And this will be a way for you to practice that oral exam, but you won't have the teacher there kind of grading you, but you will have an answer key. So very detailed answer key. You could maybe do this with a friend, a spouse, a family member. Just kind of say the questions to you. You also can just do it on your own. You'll have those questions, you can see them. And then I would encourage the people that are doing that structured oral that you record yourself. So even if it's just like a voice memo, so that you have that, if you can do a screen capture of you on, I don't even really know how you do that, but to get a video, that'd be really cool too. So you can watch yourself back. Sometimes we do silly things when we are on camera. Like right now, I want to show you the coolest blanket that I have, but I probably shouldn't because I would look back in the recording and be like, why did I do that? Okay. Do I have any questions about these mocks? Again, this is the only difference between the three courses. I'm going to tell you what is included in all the three courses now, but this is the big thing that kind of differentiates each of the three courses. Erin, any questions coming up in that Q&A that you think would be worth chatting about here?
Yeah, there's just a lot on like how do you switch over in terms of if you're a current student, how to switch over to the new CPTE.
Okay.
That's a
Okay,
pretty
awesome.
current question.
So, if you're a current student, you should have received multiple emails from us by now, encouraging you to reach out for your course credit or course coupon. So, what we are doing is we are honoring people who have taken our courses and kind of looking at what courses you've taken, whether or not they were live and you've kind of used, everything, or if it was like the premium course, whether or not you signed up as a group and got that group discount or not. There's a lot of different factors. I can promise you we're very, very fair. For example, if you signed up with a group for our premium course, then you would have gotten the chunk for what you paid. In addition, we also are giving you that group discount back on it. So you're actually getting a credit for more than you paid. So just email us. Our email is info, I will put it here, info@ptexamprep.ca. So please email us and you will get a personalized coupon code. It can only be used once and just use it for you. And you can purchase whichever one you want. And that amount could be taken off of any of those three options. Okay. I think that was the only question that you said for group discounts. I will talk about that coming up. So hold on to that question.
Kate, I have a
Um,
student who's
yeah.
asking why the essential is only for 6 months.
Good question. So the essential for 6 months is because sometimes people register very early, and a lot of this came from when the OC started posting dates like super far away. And there's a lot that goes into supporting students. So we support students not just kind of with, questions that you have about your prep, but people have a lot of questions about signing up for which exam and finding jobs and so we want to, again, give more support for longer for those students who are committing to kind of do the course until they pass. So someone who is only doing the 6 months, that support window for us is kind of within that 6 months as well.
Caitlin, quite a few students are asking if the PCE course material will still be available once they are upgraded to the CPTE.
So if you choose to upgrade to the CPTE, your premium course will go away. You'll be removed from that classroom and put to the other one. If you want to stay in that one, you can, but you're kind of double dipping in courses, so then you wouldn't be using your coupon code for the next one. So if you are choosing to kind of like return, if you will, the premium course and then go forward with the CPTE, that one will be removed from your classroom. And honestly, like Aaron can speak to this too. We have put so much work into this course. It is substantially better than it was. So you don't want that course anymore. You also don't want to just study the pathologies for a written exam. You need to study the pathologies now for a written and oral exam. So we're prepping you, teaching you kind of how to learn these materials a little bit differently because you don't have that like I'm going to put my written hat on, then I do that exam and I'm done, and then I put my clinical hat on. Like you have to wear both hats for this exam, right? So you don't need that premium course anymore.
I
Aaron,
can
do you
also
agree,
add to
disagree?
this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can also add to this that there are a lot of other conditions that they have added onto the blueprint that we have also upgraded. So we have put in probably, I want to say
80.
50 new conditions into our
Yeah.
manual.
I was going
Yeah,
to say
at least.
80. I think we're close to 80 now
Yeah.
when I was looking at the chart.
Someone else asked about the ethics masterclass. So when we transition to CPTE, I can comment on that. We've actually integrated all ethics into one of the 6 classrooms. So you
Mhm.
will have 6 little classrooms that you can, well, little big classrooms that you can access, and one of which will have all these sort of essential ethical components, and that is in our foundations class.
Mhm. So I'll show you that. We'll keep going now. Um, so again, in the independent oral exam that's in the classroom, you're gonna have 10 cases, 3 questions per case as per the exam, and then the rationale. In our written mock exam, it'll be on the exam-like platform, a detailed breakdown and answer rationale. And then your full mock CPDE will have one live oral case. It'll have one live oral exam, sorry. It'll have the 10 cases like the normal exam, 2.5 hours for the exam and 30 minutes of feedback and then that one written exam that you can do right after, or you can choose to take it on a different day. All right, then we're going to go into clinical anatomy. So again, these are the 6 classrooms that are included in the CPTE course. So in the clinical anatomy, this is going to be very similar to the anatomy workbook that you've seen. We've now put it into a classroom that is much more interactive, if you will. So you can see we have charts that'll explain all the main muscles. It'll explain origin, insertion, action, and innervation. And then in addition to this chart, we have created cue cards for you that you can go through. And these cue cards are going to take kind of like the key information that we absolutely think you should know. Because honestly, the clinical anatomy course is very much what I'm going to say is like a pre-course for your prep. So it's not necessarily things that you really need to know for the exam. It is a foundational knowledge that you need in order to build upon when you do the other, when you're studying for the CPT with the other topics. But the cue cards are definitely topics that I think are beyond foundational. I think you really, really need to know those. Okay. Also included in the clinical anatomy course is lots of fill in the blanks charts to kind of have fun ways to learn things. And again, this is clinical anatomy, so you can see like what's the name of the injury and here's the nerves involved. So let's do this one, like a fibular neck fracture and foot drop could be one. Um, Damage to the long thoracic nerve. So you can see like all of these are going to have a certain pathology or injury attached to them. Who knows what the injury would be if you had damage to the long thoracic nerve? Pop quiz. Great job, Rudy. Yes, yes. Winging of the scapula. Good job. Okay. You also will have these detailed lower limb peripheral nerve pathways. So everything is there for you for each of the major nerves. Yeah, so that's the anatomy course. Lots to go through there. Okay, now we go into the management of clinical conditions. And you can see here, this is the clinical anatomy is kind of like your pre-course prep. Now we get into the actual oral and written prep. So within this classroom is going to be the pathologies or conditions that you need to know. So the videos that are within here are the same videos that were in the premium course. There may be some references to the PCE. These will be changed in time, but right now the information is great. It wasn't our priority to change these videos because it is very much still applicable. A winging scapula is still a winging scapula, despite if you're taking it on the PCE or the CPTE. So that material will stay the same for now, but it is there in videos. And I love how we do our videos. We don't do these long sessions, like these long 2, 3 hour sessions. I actually had a call with someone the other day and they were like, I really like these like long 2, 3 hour videos where they talk through these big topics. Is your classroom like that? And I was like, no, not at all. We break it up into small pathology. So you have like a 15-minute video on this topic and a 12-minute video on this topic and a 25-minute video. And they're like, I don't know. I don't like that. They still ended up registering for the course and they emailed me like just a few days ago and they're like, I can't believe I like the 2 to 3 hours. Breaking up into small chunks is so much better. So that's how we do it. Um, we also have outcome measures handout here that I'm showing you, and that's just really to show you that we have all the main things that you need to know, like what outcome measures to use, what special tests to use. We put that all together so like, yes, you know what you're supposed to do. So say like the lower extremity functional scale, you don't need to know the details of that outcome measure. What you need to know is you need to know the purpose. So we tie it into a meaningful exam situation or meaningful exam learning, right? So why would you need to use the leaves? Not necessarily like how do you do it? You won't have to do it on this exam, but you need to know the purpose behind it. Okay. Next off in this management clinical conditions, there's lots of cool pictures included there as well. So if there's anything that we're referring to in the manual that is really, really important, what we have done throughout the new manual is we have lots of hyperlinks to our classroom. So when you're in the manual, you can actually click the hyperlink, and as long as you're logged into the classroom, it'll take you to that classroom. So it's super cool the way the manual is set up now. It's very, very integrated within the classroom. So um, yeah, you'll like that. I'm going to address this right now. We are choosing not to print manuals. If you want to print it, you can. Your name will be watermarked on it. But at least probably until 2027, we are not going to print manuals. And the reason for that is the way we've currently set up this manual is that it's meant to be used as something, again, that can connect you to the classroom. And if we print it, you lose all those hyperlinks. So, not very helpful. We also are going to see some changes with the exam. I expect that we'll see a certain exam for January, February. Then they'll probably make some good changes. I'm not saying good as in like they're positive. I'm just saying a lot. Like there'll probably be a lot of changes. And that May exam will probably look quite different than it did for January, February. So we want the ability to change things if needed and then give you an update within the classroom. We'll have a section in the classroom that says course updates. It'll be right at the top. You'll know exactly what is being changed. And so we want that fluidity to be able to change things for the next year or so. Okay. We've worked through many new exams over the last 6 years, or there's been so many new exams. And we see the exams go through this initial state of change. It's nothing to be worried about. That's why you join a program like ours, is because we do the worrying for you. We do the research for you, and we make sure we know what those changes are to communicate it to you. Okay, and there's also some worksheets here. The manual. The manual is it is a thing of beauty. Hey, Erin. Erin's probably like,
It's
I would
lovely.
throw this manual out the window.
It's been my partner. I haven't seen my husband in a few weeks. It's just been me and my manual.
Yeah. I like that. Your manual.
Manual.
Tyler's like, yeah, I want her back. Um, So this manual is crazy. It is so good. It has all of the pathologies really broken down in the way that the CPTE is saying they're going to choose material to be examined. There are lots of comparison charts. I didn't put the whole comparison chart in for a differential diagnosis of shin pain, but you can see we kind of take like shin pain. Could it be compartment syndrome? Could it be medial tibial stress syndrome? Could it be a tibial stress fracture? Could it be a tumor? And we break down all the different ways that you can use clinical reasoning on the exam to figure out what it would be. Same with like MS, Parkinson's, ALS, GBS. We put kind of the main key topics within those so that they're just easy for recall. So, love a chart. Erin's probably cursing me there. She's like, don't send me another freaking chart to put in this manual, Caitlin.
There's lots of charts.
There's so many charts. Okay. Also within the classroom is going to be a media enhanced section. We will have mocks in this section of the classroom. There are 50 practice questions that are all media enhanced questions. And there will be a little bit of an explainer in there of how to best use or how to best prep for those media style questions. As well, all of our mock exams within the course have been updated so that they include that 20% cutoff for media enhanced questions. Okay. Going to the next one. So this is the foundations of clinical practice. We call this our foundations classroom. That's what Erin was talking about earlier. So in the foundations classroom, this is going to be something similar to the ethics masterclass, except like on steroids, if you will. In this classroom, you're going to have all the main topics explained to you. So for example, duty of care, you'll have a situation like how do you rectify a mistake? Well, there's two situations you might have to see in a mistake situation. Here's how you're going to fix it, right? And these are pulled from professional standards. They're pulled from situations that we have had students tell us over years and years of doing this. So we have a huge database of scenarios that we know are highly testable. And so we give you a huge breakdown. We also have a lot of questions within this classroom. So in this classroom alone, I counted, we have 230 vignette style questions. Erin, did you know there were 230 questions in here?
I knew it was over 200. Yeah.
Crazy. There are a ton. And so these are going to be questions within the classroom. So you can take this as many times as you like. You will also get all the feedback with them. So it's a great way to test yourself in that category before you move on to the next. So, yeah. Okay, we're almost there. The next classroom is our oral case prep. So this is going to be preparing you for the oral portion of the exam. We have a specific way that we are preparing you. So have broken it down into three categories. So a practice question in the oral case prep is going to be a single focus question designed to test your knowledge on a specific concept. Okay. So we want to get clinical reasoning happening here. We want you to pull from the frameworks that we've taught you in this section of the course. And each question is going to assess one domain. Okay. So this is a practice question. So remember when I showed you there's going to be 10 cases that will be in your exam. And within that case, you're asked three questions. Okay. So we have around 150 practice questions in the course. Honestly, it's well over that because we have lots of sub questions in there and like making you think more too. So there's a ton. Then practice cases. So practice cases are going to be those three questions actually put together in a case. Okay. And again, there are 10 cases on a full exam. So as of right now, we have about 15 cases in the course, in addition to a full practice exam. Okay. So that would mean there's like 25 cases in every single course and 150 practice questions. So much to practice in this classroom. Like you'll be sick of practicing oral questions in this classroom. We also, this is an example of one of those practice questions. So we give you a case scenario. Who would you want to collaborate with and how would you ensure appropriate timely communication? And then we give you that detailed answer key there. Now, our answer keys are built off of frameworks. These are the key frameworks that we use in our course. These frameworks are broken down so that you know exactly how to formulate your response. So you can just really stick to these frameworks and you should be able to pretty much answer any question. Okay. okay, we're getting there. I already talked about mocks at the start, so we're going into live sessions. So in the live session portion, we are going to have 2 weekly live sessions. It's a lot. That's definitely going to be what we're going to do going forward. If we see that people are mostly just attending one per week, we might adapt. But for now, we're going to be doing 2 weekly sessions. One of those per week is going to be an oral exam theme. So we might have something called partner practice where we use breakout rooms within Zoom, and you'll actually go and practice cases and then come back and talk. So it's kind of like we're forcing you to use a study partner. So that'll be a really cool way to practice. We'll have focused question practice where it will be maybe just like question one. We'll talk about all the way that a question one could be asked in different cases. I see all these like these coming up. I love this. What was the thing that got people excited there? Tell me in the chat box. And then we might have a practice case deconstruction. So that full case that we kind of talked about that was going to be in the classroom, we're actually going to tell you some weeks we're like we're going to pull one of the questions or one of the cases from that. We're going to deconstruct it and really, really go through it with you. Okay. I like that. Live classes are exciting. Online classes are best. Um, great. Okay, and then we are going to have once a week a topic around written practice. So all of these online sessions are 1 hour, so it's 2 hours every week. The dates and times are going to change somewhat. I say that because it is probably going to be around hours that work well for the East Coast. West Coast kind of flows along pretty nice to the East Coast. They just have to wake up a little earlier. But yeah, our main teachers for this are from the East Coast, so they'll kind of be the main times. So back to the topics for the written, we'll have topic-based sessions. So exactly like what you've been doing within the premium course, if you've been there, we might have what we're going to call time question workouts. So you might have like a little mini mock that you will do, maybe professional practice only sessions. So we're just really going over questions in that foundations classroom. And then we're going to sprinkle in some special topics this time. So, again, 2 sessions are going to be happening per week. They'll usually be one oral, one written, but we might switch it up sometimes and maybe do like one written and then managing exam anxiety tips, or one oral and the next one might be like an updates from past exams. We'll also have a last rep prep, which is going to be a session that's kind of right before your exam, or maybe a few weeks before your exam, and just kind of giving those students who are going into the exam a little bit of a boost before they go in. And sometimes we might just have a full Q&A session. So these live sessions are going to be used a little bit different in this CPTE classroom. Um, Someone is saying, I think 1 hour for each session is not enough. You are allowed your opinion. It is going to be 2 hours in total, as I said, because it is going to be twice a week and it's going to be every week. So if you register quite early for one of the until you pass, you can see that's a lot of time that you would have in these live sessions. Alrighty, to discounts. So if you're a pass written student, as I was saying, if you've contacted us, we should have sent you a coupon code. If you emailed us and haven't heard back, we did not receive it. We have been diligent on our inbox, working literally around the clock. I joked. I don't know that I pulled an all-nighter in like a very long time. And my husband and I, we pulled all-nighters last night to make sure that every coupon code was set and good. So you should have received something from us if you emailed us. If you have not, please email us again. For the group discount, if you have a group of 3 or more who were not enrolled in our comprehensive course, you can join a group, or you can create a group if you have a group of 3 or more and you register within 48 hours of each other. Each of the people in your group can pick their course. You don't all have to go for mastery or all to go for essential. You can pick what you want and you will get $600 off. Okay. Our previous group discount for the premium, if anyone purchased the premium and had that group discount, it is included in that coupon that we gave you. That's why you can't double dip in this group discount too. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to the questions portion now and see how many questions are there. I'm like very nervous looking at that number 52 up there, but I think what we'll do is we will go to the Q&A, and the ones that have the most thumbs up are things that I will answer. The first one is so intimidating. It's so long. Okay, I'm going to read this out
Caitlin,
loud.
I'll
Yeah.
Caitlin, I'll say there's a lot of people just asking about study timelines,
Mm,
like how long to get through our course material. Are they ready for February if they sign up now? So just a lot of questions around just timelines.
okay. So November 4th is when the classroom is going to be live. So anyone who purchases it during the pre-registration is going to see a welcome message in your classroom, and you're also going to see the clinical anatomy classroom that is there. There is one more set of cue cards that is going to be added, but it is there. So that's where you can start right now. But as of the 4th, that's when everything will be added to your classroom, minus potentially a few tweaks that are going to come, or I shouldn't say tweaks, a few material that we know we will be adding kind of over the month of November, December. But we will have a detailed timeline of what you will need to get through in order to do the January exam, in order to do the February exam and May. And we will break it down into weekly study plans. So we'll be like, here's a 12-week study plan, here's a 20-week study plan. So this is all coming. I will say for people who are doing February, we'll talk about February because I think that's the majority of you here. My best suggestion is that if you're doing February, like it needs to be a priority in your life between now and then. Because remember, you're studying for the written and the clinical. And you can see by our classroom setup, we are not splitting your prep for the content into like written content and oral content. We're not doing that because, again, a winging scapula is a winging scapula, regardless if you're doing it on a clinical exam or a written exam, right? So you need to get through the content, and then you will be studying a lot with written to kind of assess your knowledge, because that kind of multiple choice style of testing is really good to make sure that you know it. So we're going to get you to go through the clinical management, clinical conditions first. You'll go through the foundations of clinical practice, then you'll go through your oral practice, and then take you to some of your mock exams. Although again, this will all be very well explained to you when our course is released on the 4th. We also are having a webinar on the 4th. The webinar is at 2 o'clock on the 4th, and we are going to be walking you through how to start using the classroom. And I will definitely be addressing that question of how to prep for February. So hold tight. That information is definitely coming. But for now, use the clinical anatomy classroom to get going. Okay. So that first question, I see that you recommend about 5 to 6 months. Could you clarify overlap between the written and clinical? Okay, so this question is asking, is the content similar for the written and the oral? So yeah, it is. As I said, like carpal tunnel syndrome is the same regardless of what exam you're taking, regardless of if you took the PCE, regardless of if you took the OCE, regardless if you put another set of letters together in that exam. What is different is going to be how you are going to be assessed on that knowledge. And that's where these mocks and that's where these practice questions are really, really huge, because it's going to make you work that muscle, right? It's like we say with patients that you need to have specificity in training. If you want to be a good soccer player, you're not going to go practice tennis. Is there going to be some transference? Yes. Is it going to be the best? No. So we are going to make sure that you know how to move, right? We're going to make sure you know how to move because that's a key thing to be able to play soccer. But then we're going to get you to practice shooting. We're going to get you to practice passing. My sports analogies. Um, so that's going to happen in the classroom. You're going to learn the content you have to know. You need to know the foundations. You need to know base that triangle. We're going to pull you up to the next level of the triangle so that you understand the clinical reasoning behind it. And then the top of that triangle is you are going to be assessed in the way that you are you going to kind of practice in the way that you're going to be assessed. Okay. I don't see a lot of the upvotes on questions in there, so please do me a favor and just take maybe like 15 seconds and put some upvotes on the questions that are most meaningful to you so I can answer those.
And just a reminder, don't put questions in the chat box. Just put them in the question and answer box. It's just hard to kind of flip back and forth. So all questions from now on, just put them in the chat, in the Q&A box, please.
Um, so I get this question a lot. Are we going to put this recording on YouTube? I was originally just going to be sending this to people who registered for the webinar, but honestly, there's so many of you that I think I probably am just going to put it on YouTube at this point. My fear around that is we have so many people that want to copycat us, but you just can't at this point. Like it has taken us like we pulled all our information from the OCE that we've been doing for years and years. Like I think the OCE started in like 2021 or 2022. So this is material that we have been creating for years. So I feel confident people can't copy us at this point. Like we've been so strong in the OC and our pass rate has been so strong. We know that other prep courses just a lot of them have just ducked out and been like, I'll send you some free stuff for the OC, and it's not really that helpful. Um, we know how to prep people for oral exams. We have a proven track record of that. And of course, we know how to prep people for the written exam. We get enough people who, how many of you have used, should I say it? This is kind of bad, but whatever. How many of you used another prep program and then ended up coming to us and we're just like so happy because you switched to us? So am I going to be like heartbroken? There's me no one saying anything. Okay. We have one me. Oh, there's two me's. That's it. Okay, well, there we go. There we go. Lots more me's. Took a second for people to chime in. You scared me there. Yeah, we get this all the time. Like, I didn't know about you, and so I used the wrong program, and now I have you, and now I passed. I'm happy. So again, I'm probably gonna put this on YouTube for people to look at because why not? Get the message out there more, right? Okay, let's see. Since pre-registration starts tomorrow, could you please explain how it will work and whether we will be able to secure a spot? So, um, great question. We are monitoring very closely which exam people are taking because we need to make sure that we have enough mocks for everyone. So it kind of depends on like how many people are getting the plus because it has two mocks. How many people are getting essentials, which is mostly just going to be us supporting you through, what I explained. So I don't know how fast things are going to go. If tomorrow was anything like today, I think we'll probably be sold out sometime within a few hours, to be honest. I don't know what the demand was for people who were like today, we did all the people who were in our course and switching. So yeah, we'll see. But I think it's going to go pretty fast. We might do some pauses where we'll be like, okay, no more registrations for now. We just need to get everyone sorted to figure out how many mocks and stuff we have. And then we might open up more spots again. If we do open up more spots again, I will post it on Instagram so that you know. So if you do see it sold out when you go to purchase, make sure you are following us so you can get that update. Okay. If I take the CPT in May, when do you suggest to take your mock exams? So I'm going to hold all those questions around timing for prep because we are going to give you a very detailed explanation for that within the course and definitely more information on the 4th on that. If I purchase the course today and get access on November 4th, will I lose access to the premium course between now and November 4th? Yes, you will lose access on November 4th. How about a separate oral mock exam? In a way, it's kind of like that because we're not watching you do the written. If you want to cheat on the written exam, that's up to you. We're not going to proctor you doing that. A written exam is a total independent experience. So the oral is where you're going to have that teacher with you. And then if you want to do the written right after, you do it. Or if you want to wait and do it at a later time, you can do that. But of course, I suggest you do it all in one day. So it's just like the real exam.
Caitlin, there's quite a few
Yeah.
people saying that they did get the email about pre-registration, and when they go to kind of click on it, it says that they need to pay the full amount. But they are, they're wondering about the coupon code for pre-register or for if they were a previous student of ours. So just
Yeah.
wondering in terms of how to move forward with payment and if there's also options for paying little
Installments.
bits at a time. Yeah, installments.
Okay. So if you're one of our students and you reached out to us, again, you have to reach out to us to get that coupon code. There's a spot, you just put the coupon code in. Very easy. Super simple. You just put that code in and it'll bring your the cost of the course down immediately. I've had probably 100 people use it today, so I know it's working. If you are wanting to do a payment plan, there is a third party option. So it's not through us. It's a program called Klarma or Affirm. We selected them because they had the lowest options for, and again, if you haven't received a coupon code, it's probably because you haven't emailed us. And if you have emailed us and we haven't got back to you, it got lost in the universe because I promise you we have responded to everyone. So please send it again. Again, my email is info@ptexamprep.ca. Um, what was I saying? Oh, yes. So Klarma or Affirm, they have the lowest amount of like interest, if you will. So for most of them, I think you don't pay interest for like 3 or 4 months. And after that time, there is a small amount of interest that gets charged. Again, it's through another company. It's not through us. They pay us immediately. And then you kind of pay back to them. So you can see that all through the website when you go to purchase. There are those payment plans available for you. Just pick what works best for you. You do have to have a credit card. That's the only thing. Yep. Okay. Um, if I'm planning to choose the CPT mastery course, what is the process of switching into it? So again, the process is very, very simple. If you're one of our students, you should have received an email earlier this week or earlier last week, as well as an email today. And it should have said something around here's the link to register and use your coupon code. We emailed students earlier in the week. What day is it today? Tuesday. So we emailed students last week saying, please contact us if you do plan to switch to that CPTE course. So that's why everyone kind of was geared and ready to go today. But again, if you did not email us, just email us if you were a past student in one of the comprehensive courses. For the deadline for upgrading, we are making the deadline that you can use your coupon is going to be the last day of December 2026. So December 31st, 2026. So like 2025 next year at the end of next year. So there's no rush. If you're like, I'm not going to take this exam until a while, you do not have to worry. That coupon code is not going anywhere for you. That is for you. But I will say that our limit to people in the course is going to be based on what we have. So that coupon code might not expire, but we do have to be mindful of yeah, how many people take the course. The biggest rush is going to be right now. The biggest rush is going to be the next kind of like 2, 3 weeks because there's going to be a backlog. If you're planning to take the exam in 2027, just hold on to your coupon code. Just wait to take the course. Honestly, there's no rush at all. They'll be through the backlog by the end of 2026. So don't stress. You can totally wait to pay for the course in December 2026 if you want to do the exam in 2027. So just wait. Okay.
Caitlin, I have a few students asking if they were previous PT exam prep students like 5 or 6 years ago. They're not a current student. Do they still get a discount?
Ooh, that is a good question. I would say email us and we'll look into it. Probably going to be a case by case basis, depending on yeah what the situation was. 5, 6 years ago, it's a bit of a tough one. So much has changed since then. You've probably used the full capacity of the course then. But we're fair. So just shoot me an email and we'll look into it. And that's probably more on a case by case basis. Oh, okay, let's keep going. Is there any option to just buy the study guide and study materials rather than the mock or instructor? Yeah, so that's going to be the essentials course. The essentials course is pretty much everything you need minus that full mock and a few of the mock courses. At the end of the day, you are prepping for both the written and clinical exam. It's a cumulative exam where anything could be asked. So we don't really have anything that I could provide to you less than the essentials. Like that is really what you mean. What you mean, what we need. Sorry, I've read the thing in do you offer oral exams in French? We do not at this time. If there's enough of people who want a French option, then definitely something we could do. So if you do want a French option, maybe just email me, and we'll kind of form a little list to see how many people there are. Probably all of the U of Ottawa people wanting to know that. Yes, a group can prep in different months. Sorry, and now I'm reading the chat box. Put all your questions, please, into the Q&A. That'll help us so much. There's so many questions here. Okay. Um, what is the discount code for the old PT prep students? So I think we've talked about that. Um, if you haven't received a discount code, I will say again that you just email us. Sorry, my brain went everywhere because I saw that little laughy face go up because I said there's so many questions. Okay, I'm gonna do like a 1 minute inventory of these questions and just like click off the ones that I feel like we have answered.
I'm trying to do that. You just
Okay,
keep going.
there's just so many. Okay, okay,
I have a couple questions, Caitlin, that I'd like to pose to you.
okay, okay.
Will there be a live teaching session to prepare for the oral part of the exam?
Oh, Erin, ask me nice questions.
Well, we have, I mean, I can answer that. We
Okay.
have the 1 hour. So 1 hour once a week, we will have kind of like our office hours for the oral exam. So it'll be with the teacher and you have a chance to ask questions and they'll go through some kind of content related to the oral. And then the only other time in terms of oral feedback will be when you do your mock with the teacher and they give you, you have 30 minutes of feedback with that teacher. So in terms of, kind of like one-on-one, oral prep, it's more the weekly with a teacher that we have online, and then your feedback for your oral case.
There is one more thing, and I kind of made the decision not to talk about it, but here you go. I'm going to talk about it. We are going to have what's called an intensive add-on. So it is going to be, you have to be enrolled in Essentials Mastery and Mastery Plus, and you will have the option to add in this intensive. And it is going to be pretty much you're meeting with your teacher and a very small group of students, and they're holding your hand through all the material. So it's a good option for someone who knows that having 2 live sessions a week and having all the material for them is just not enough, which I really don't think this is going to be many people. And that's why I'm not releasing it right away because I want people to just trust in this and try this and believe in this process. And we will probably launch that intensive in like for the May exam. So people who are taking the May will have an option if they want to add on the intensive, they can. I'm not going to talk any more about that yet because I really do think that it's going to be a small, small, small subset of people who need to use that. This course is going to be so supportive. And I think 99% of people are going to benefit from, I'm going to say mastery or mastery plus. I do think that's where most people will fall. And I'll even go so much to say, like, I think mastery is enough. I don't think you need 2 full mocks. Like, I really don't. I think mastery is a great option. Okay. If I'm currently registered for the November exam and have not attempted the original exam, do you recommend challenging November or just register for the CPTE? Um, you are kind of getting like a free kick at the can by doing November. But here's the issue now. Say you do November. Now you have to do one of the clinicals. The last clinical for Alberta is February. So that's a very short turnaround. So I'd say that's not a good idea if you're an Alberta person. If you are a BC person, February, maybe May, still pretty tight turnaround, I would say. And then OCE, you're waiting until like potentially October to do the OCE. I don't know. At this point, after now I've seen what the CPTE looks like and I've seen what our course looks like, I think the CPTE might be a good option. Even though it's a free attempt at November, you're really only giving yourself kind of one attempt at a clinical then. And then you have to switch over to the CPT anyways if you fail. And then you only get 2 attempts at the CPT rather than right now, you would get 3 attempts. So lots to consider with that. But I think I would probably say if you're not super confident by now for November, and I would probably say if you're not set up to do the OCE, then I don't know, I think I'd probably do the CPTE at this point. Okay, so this one is asking, will there be a plan as far as timeline? Absolutely, there will be a plan as far as timeline goes. We're just asking that you wait until November 4th so that we can give you, because it's not just one timeline fits all at this point. Unfortunately, we have to make tons of different timeline options because we do not do it cohort based. So we're not like sign up for this course if you're doing January, sign up for this course if you're doing May. Because we know that so many students set a goal and then life happens and they have to switch to another one. And I've heard horror stories from people who are like, I signed up for this course and I picked this date and then they wouldn't transfer me in the course to the other cohort. So that's not how we do it. We get you all in the same class and then we create multiple different types of study plans. So that is coming. Be patient. Promise coming. I saw there's study groups available in the breakdown of the courses where you compared the essentials with Master Master Plus. How do these work? So the study group, do you mean like the group discount? Azeta, can you post in the chat if you mean the group discount? Let's see if I can see your message. Thanks, Josh, for answering that. Okay, they're not answering. I don't know what that means. We'll come back to that. Okay, this question, the next question is about it's asking you to pay full. Yeah, you're getting a link to pay. It's not a unique link for you. You're adding in the unique code for you, which is going to bring the cost down. Okay. I am currently studying abroad in the UK and finished my course in November. Do I need to wait in order to register for the program for our exam? No, you don't have to wait. This is a really good question. You do not have to wait to register. You can register whenever you like. We do have a lot of people who register while they're still in their school. And especially with this addition of the pre-course prep with the clinical anatomy, I would encourage anyone who is like maybe doing the credentialing process. It's a great time to start so that you actually can do something, like study something, and not necessarily dive into the content, but like start with that. So yes, you can. Just again, that's probably a student who might want to pick the until you pass access versus the 6 months. Okay, Jose is asking the full mock exam is adding 2 extra written tests. I don't know what that means. Okay. Is there actually 84 in here, Erin? Or you've cleared out a lot? No, okay, you've cleared out
I've
a
been
lot.
clearing out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably have like 15. That's not bad.
A
I
lot of
took
students asking if they can, sorry, I have a lot of students asking if they can just purchase like a mock on its own or a written exam on its own. So I've been
no,
answering that they cannot.
no, we used to have a ton of like smaller products that we're doing. For now, this is what we're doing. We're sticking to this core 3 courses. I will tell you, we used to allow students to do a mock and have not used our material, and we spent so much time just trying to teach them during the mock that it became non-productive. So we are sticking to if you want to do the mocks with us, you do need to have prepped with our materials. Um, anyone who is trying to figure out what is the right course for them. Oh, look it, I got a little friend beside me. So anyone who's looking at deciding what is the right course for them, um, I honestly think the biggest thing is just decide how many mocks you want. The material is going to be the same, so it's not a big difference as far as there's no difference as far as the materials go. As far as picking the right course for you, just comes down to how many mocks you want. Is there a different pricing for Canadian students like for the PCE? Yeah, so there is going to be Canadian student pricing, but it's just group based. So if you do have we know our Canadians always sign up in groups. So we have that large discount for the groups. Okay. So just shoot us a message and we can get that sorted for you. So what if my exam is coming close and there's nothing available for the full mock 101? I'm not sure how much time. So here's the thing. We will know how many mocks we need to have for each exam based off of when you do our registration form. We ask you which exam you're doing. And that brings up a good point. If you do say, like, I'm doing February, and then you're like, actually, no, I switch, I'm going to do May, please just tell us because it totally affects how many mocks we put up. We always put up more mocks, available options than people who are saying they want them, so that you do have lots of options. So that won't be an issue for you. If you are in our course, you will always have a mock to choose from. If you wait, say like it's a February exam and we put out the options in like December and you choose not to pick one until the end of January, you might have very few options at that time, right? So definitely pick it, um, yeah, early if you can. Can I tell more about the anatomy course? Is it something new? So the anatomy course is based off of the anatomy workbook. So if you have the anatomy workbook, it's very, very similar to that. There are some changes, just really changing the way that the material is presented. And again, now that we've moved it to a classroom versus a manual, we can add stuff very easily. Again, there will be a section in the class that will tell you when any updates have been made. So you don't have to worry about that. Like searching for things, we'll tell you. So only mock exam is the different in all three courses. So yes, the mock exam is the only difference. Everything else is the same. So mock exams and duration, that's the only difference. I'm going to put this back up because it shows you very well. What do you suggest for a person who did two failed PC written and currently in a live course? So I would for sure not take your third attempt for this for the PCE because then you're done. I would definitely go and take the CPTE. Yeah, definitely. If you've had two written fails, it's time to move to the CPTE because then you get a fresh attempts, right? You get three fresh attempts. Um, how soon can I pay for the new material? I have the old material and was given a coupon code. You should have received a link in your email. If you didn't get that, then just email me. But if you were someone who's registered in our course, you're good to go. So what's going to happen for everyone who wants to pre-register tomorrow is you're going to get a link sent to your email, and you will be able to click that and purchase. Simple as that. If I'm not able to pass the CPTE in my first attempt, then can you give me access to give those two exams one more time if I purchase Mastery Plus cases? So the live portion of the of your exam will be done. But if you were unsuccessful, we will meet, we will talk, we will figure out a plan, and we will sort out how to make sure you get through. No one just fails and flies under my radar unless you don't tell me. If you fail, we are figuring out a plan and figuring out how best to support you.
Kate, can people be in a group if they're prepping for different months, like exam months?
Yes, different exam months and different courses. Like you can do one can do essentials, one can do mastery. It doesn't matter. When you go to the group registration page, you'll actually select which course that you want, essentials, mastery, mastery plus. You'll put in your group coupon code into there. It'll put you into an empty course. So even say you're going and wanting to do the group discount after our course has been released. So say December, you will still be put into, we call it our group registration course. You need to have all your members register, or at least three. So once three people have registered, then we transfer you over into the full course.
Caitlin, if
Yeah.
somebody is registered for a January CPTE, even though there's not a ton of people, they're wondering if they'd be matched with other students who are also registered for that exam so that they could kind of prep together.
Totally. We'll have a find a study partner database on our site. And so you can put your information there. We're going to try to make it an editable doc where you can add to it. We're still trying to work out that because I want to be really careful with like, I don't want someone to be able to change other people's info. What'll probably happen is we'll keep doing what we used to do, and it's just you give us your info and we update it there. And then it'll have like your name, your email, and which exam month you're doing. And then that way you can find who's doing the same exam as you and you can contact them. It's been a
And how
really
many
great
people
resource.
need to be,
Yeah,
sorry, how many people need to be in a group, Kate?
3. Yeah. We used
I'm
to
getting
do
a lot
6.
of questions.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Kate. I'm just getting a lot of questions around people wondering about access to the old courses. So if you want to upgrade, you have emailed Caitlin. They know you're upgrading. You've pre-registered. You're going to be, as of November 4th, switching to the new CPTE courses, and your old courses will no longer be accessible. And that includes your mock exam bundle.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, it's not that I'm taking it away from you because I
You're
don't
getting
want.
better stuff.
You're just getting better stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the trade. So we're giving you the amount of that discount so that you can use that credit towards this new course. I know people get concerned about like it'll mark how much you've completed. Don't worry, this new CPD course is there's so many different ways that you are going to learn that like you don't need that old course. Please don't use the premium course anymore. It is for a different exam. So we really, really encourage you to not use it anymore, so much so that I'm going to pull it out of your classroom because I don't want you to be tempted to go to the thing that's just easy and that you know. I want you to go into the CPT course.
And a little tip, if you are currently studying using the PAVC, I have a lot of people who said, I'm in session 1 or 2. When you switch over to the new CPTE courses and you're going to be going through your clinical course, which is all the clinical pathologies, if you're going through it and that's a condition that you have already reviewed, you feel really confident about it because you reviewed it in the CPT or in the premium access course, you watch that video, then you can skip that pathology if you feel you really know it, right? And move on to the next thing. But there are so many new conditions in the manual. You will see similar videos, meniscus video that you saw in your PAVC course. It's the same meniscus video in your new course because it's the same pathology, right?
Mhm.
And we will slowly start to add more videos and change, edit videos and as we have more time, but we really wanted to get this content out for you. We've got a beautiful new manual, amazing classrooms. So there's so much good content in there. But if, again, you've already studied a pathology and you feel good about it, then you can move on to the next
Yeah.
pathology in the CPTE course. That's fine.
Yeah. What do you mean by being invited to the exam? Is there a chance we may not be invited for an exam? I don't know what that means.
Maybe for the actual CPTE in terms of overflow.
Yeah, the only one that you have to be invited to is January because they're only taking 20 international students and the rest are Canadian. So that might be what you're referring to. For our students who upgrade to the new course, will our dashboard include the new features or will it be a whole new dashboard? It will be a whole new set of classes in there. Okay, this question is, I'm currently going for the November PC, but like to go for the CPD for the future. But my question is, should I stick with the premium? I think we did kind of chat about this already. Okay, if I start from November 4th, will I be able to finish by the end of January? Yes, we will have a specific study plan for those who are doing January and February. So don't worry, it is definitely doable. But again, it needs to be like your utmost priority. You've got November, December, and January. So you are going to be running. You're going to be sprinting, I will actually say. It'll be a ton to get through, doable, but a ton to get through. February, I'm much more comfortable with. I think February is definitely doable. If January is a sprint, I'm going to say February is a good paced run. So again, don't be planning things in November, December, January. Like, don't be heading off and getting married or going on big trips. Like, this is going to be your life. Um, but still very doable.
I'm
I'm
getting a lot
gonna,
of questions about written fails and if they go towards your PCE attempt or your CPTE attempt, they do not. So if you have failed the written PCE 1, 2 times, that's fine. You'll still have 3 attempts at the CPTE.
Mhm. I'm just gonna write this name down. Do I have to email you to get the coupon to transition to the new course? Yes.
Yes.
Will there be live classes? Yes.
Caitlin, after this November, when the new class, I've had a lot of questions about like when will the next registration be open for if like after this November registration.
So registration is going to stay open as long as there are spots. If we are opening like a specific spot, so say we're like, actually, we can add 2 more spots for February or something, it will all be posted on Instagram. Um, so yeah, make sure you're following us on Instagram to get those updates. But we're going to do our best to accommodate as many people as we can. Our teachers are very excited to teach for this. So, and we have a group, like we brought on a substantial amount of teachers in when was that? Like April or May this year. And they have been training with the OCE so that they would be ready for when we switch to the CPTE. So we have teachers that are not new. They're teachers who have been doing virtual exams. We have a huge crew. Like we have well over, I don't even know how many teachers we have, like 25, 30 teachers. We have a lot.
And they're amazing.
Our teachers are amazing.
They're the best. They're
They
amazing.
really are. Yeah. And like we have a lot of teachers who this is really what they do. Like this is the majority of their physio world is they teach with us. So, will there be enough time for February? There will be, but you will be very busy.
I think Kate and I get a lot of questions about like, am I going, do you think I'm going to be ready for said exam? Well, you have to self-reflect. Like, what is your, like, what do you have going on? Are you a mother of 5 kids or are you, solo? Do you have a full-time job, part-time job? Did you graduate 10 years ago or did you graduate last year? So, a lot of times you have to self-reflect. And then a lot of times it's looking at like, well, how did I do on the mock exam? And if I didn't do that great and I haven't been on top of my studying, I'm not prepared. So we can't answer those questions for you all the time. It's really about you self-reflecting and seeing, what is your timeline looking like and how much time do you have to put into it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, Someone is asking, Mark, your question. Do you mind retyping it? I'm not totally sure what you're asking, so just say it again if you can. For the clinical condition section of the course, you have kept the videos the same from the previous course, but will there be new videos for the added conditions? Yes, that will all start to come. Um, we've given you like when it launches on the 4th, I'm gonna say you're gonna have like 95% of the materials, and there may be some things that are more like supplementary. You have 100% of the content that you need, but there will be some things like some videos we might want to add. But again, like the manual and the workbooks and the mock exams and the quizzes and the cases, they have it all in it, so you don't have to stress. There just might not be like a video for that. Ah. May I know which type of CPTE, please? I don't know what that means. Do you guys provide a group chat for students doing the exam on the same dates? This is definitely something that we can do. We've talked about this doing like maybe like a WhatsApp group with everyone in it. The issue for me is that we just have to keep the conversation not about past questions or things that have happened on the exam. So there's a real strict kind of ethical guideline for the exam there. So yeah, we've talked about it, but it's just been kind of easier to keep me out of those groups or keep us being the ones that create them. Um, so yeah, okay. 1 sec, just writing myself a note. Um, Will this session be recorded in the online classroom? I think that's the most asked question that we get, Erin, of anything, just in general,
Pardon? The
teaching Santa.
access? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, this will be uploaded to anyone who's in the CPTE classroom. It will also be probably I'm going to put it on YouTube, so it'll be there too. Herva, yes, there is going to be a schedule for prep like the premium course.
I'm getting a few students saying that they still haven't received a response about the coupon credit code. So does everyone maybe just be patient too? So
No,
you
honestly,
know,
like we have
okay,
responded to everyone. So
okay.
it's either maybe we don't have our info right or it's I don't even like we've gone through our spam too. So I'll just say like message us again. If you're messaging us on Instagram, you are lost in the abyss right now. The amount of people who have contacted us in the last week has been insane. Um, I was showing Aaron our inbox the other day, and it's like we're getting an email like once every 2 minutes. It's a new email, new email. It is wild right now. I feel like we're working as the CAPR's help desk partially too. So please email us again. And if you haven't got a reply from us, geez, yeah, maybe I know people are right now are just forming like a group in the chat box, but I'll take over the chat and after they're done that. Um, yeah, okay. Let's keep going.
Ugh,
Okay.
it's bouncing me. I'm trying to answer, and then it bounces me out.
Go. Okay, there is no individual discount. And the reason why we're doing this is because we have changed it. We used to have a group discount for 6 students or more. We've changed the group discount to 3 students, so half as many. It's pretty easy to find people who are prepping for this, to be honest, like Reddit, Facebook. There are lots of places out there that people are saying they're prepping and looking for groups. So we're putting the onus on you a little bit more to find a group, but we're giving you a very big discount if you do find a group. There is a lot of chatter going on in the box right now. The box. So get in on that. There you go. There's groups happening. I can't believe how many people are putting their information there right now. Woo! CPT mastery class is only fun for 1 year or until we pass. So it's until you pass. So whenever you need that. If it takes you 3 years to pass, then you'll get access to it. Um, but if you have passed, it'll just automatically go within a year. I should say it's automatically to go out of your classroom in a year. And if you want longer access, then you need to contact us and just say, I haven't passed yet. And then it will extend you.
Caitlin, I have a few students asking that if they're current students right now, they're premium access course students, if they don't pre-register tomorrow, will they get a guaranteed spot?
So no, you won't get a guaranteed spot. If you are taking the exam after, like, if you're not taking January, February, or May, I'm going to say, yeah, you're fine. You're going to get a spot. It's the February and May that is going to be really, really busy. So if you can't pay and you are wanting to do February or May, maybe just reach out to me so we know your situation. Maybe we can hold a spot for you. I'm saying that very hesitantly because it'd have to be a pretty good reason why we would do that. Yeah, we've
Caitlin, I have
talked.
a really good question here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're the answer to. Someone said that the Alliance has told them that if they fail 2 attempts at the PCE and want to switch to the CPTE, they have to go through credentialing again.
Mm-mm.
Are you aware of any of this?
No,
No,
I'm not
could be a
aware.
misunderstanding.
Yeah. Has anyone heard of this? No, no. Yeah, I honestly haven't heard of this. Ooh, good question. We haven't had this. Will the live sessions be available after? So these live sessions. So this is a change that we are doing. We are going to be recording these. Um, there will be one recording in the classroom for each at a time. So there'll be one written and one clinical. And then when the next week's ones are updated, uploaded, those will be taken down. I can guarantee you I'm going to get people that are saying, like, why can't they all just be up there? We're not doing that. I want you to attend them live. There is definite bonuses to attending things live because you're just more engaged with the material. I understand if there's some that you can't attend because of life, but I don't want people getting into the habit of that. It's so much more engaging to learn when you are there versus just doing it off of a recording. So we do have recordings of things that you want to see. It will be there for a week afterwards. It's your responsibility to watch it during that week.
Caitlin, good question here. In terms of how we currently have live courses with a teacher, so live with a teacher in terms of prepping for the written, is that still an option? And if so, what is the price?
So this is going to be similar to what I was kind of talking about with the thing that I wasn't going to say anything about, and that's these intensives. So intensives are going to be an option that you can add on to any of the three courses. So Essentials, Mastery, Mastery Plus. We won't be offering these intensives probably until January, February. They'll be for the May exam and later. So that is an option, but again, it has to be added on to one of the core packages that we have. So, you need to have gone through the materials on your own to the best of your ability before those live sessions, anyways. So, again, more information will come out about that probably in December. But for now, these three courses are what we have. Okay, so some people are asking, like, if you're currently in the premium course, can you form a group? So you can, but your discount will be less. So you have to use, you can use one discount. So if you want to use the group discount, it is going to be 600. If you want to use your discount for being part of the premium or maybe part of a group previously, you have a much bigger discount. So I encourage you to use the bigger one. To clarify, the Mastery Plus is good for a year or until you pass. Yeah, whatever you need. So you will have access to the classroom until you pass, whether that is a year from now, whatever you need.
People are asking is, like when does the CPTE start? Like when are they getting rid of the old exam format? So as of January 2026, CAPR is no longer running the old version. So everything from January 2026 onwards will be the new CPTE. And yes, you will. If you pass the CPTE, you will be able to work anywhere in Canada except for Quebec. They have their own credentialing system.
What if I cannot stay up with my study plan? Um, This happens a lot. This does. Life happens. Like you set goals, you make plans, and what's that saying? Like life's what happens when you're making plans. This definitely does happen. Um, Motivation is something that is tough sometimes. I always say, like, find your why. We sent out a newsletter last week, or the week before, about motivation and how to get motivated. Definitely something that we are going to talk about as far as some special topics in there, because I think motivation is a really tough one. So yeah, study plans are there to help you, but ultimately, if big things happen in life, it can get hard, and we get that. So yeah, we'll talk about topics about that.